Ladies and gentlemen, a bittersweet moment. Welcome back to the finale, episode 8, the last one of season 3 of the Hey Guys Fantasy Football Talk Show. You got JJ and the Commish. Folks, we made you wait long enough. The fantasy football playoffs have come and gone, and we have the last NFL game of the season coming up this Sunday. Like I said, it is exciting. It's also upsetting. But we're here to recap the fantasy season and look forward to the big dance. Jack, it's been a little while, but how has the offseason been treating you? Well, Cancun, maybe some time in the sun. How's that been?
It's been good, man. We had an early trip to Cancun over at Breeze Nuts HQ, but it was needed. For 4 years of making deep playoff runs in a row, you got to take a year off here and there. And I ended up losing to the champ. Not trying to spoil anything here, but we'll get into that. It's bittersweet, football's coming to an end. The greatest season of the year, but it's we got a big game coming up Sunday, much bigger for some than others, but I'm super excited. It's going to be a fun Super Bowl.
It is going to be a fun game, that's for sure. I think it's two incredible teams, and um, it'll be entertaining to say the least. But
Absolutely.
Jack, my season ended pretty similarly. You know, early exit, our boys needed a rest because they were just not showing up. But the last time we left you folks, we had recapped the first round of the fantasy football playoffs. Um, Went through the quarterfinals. Breeze Nuts unfortunately lost to the top dog in the league, Lewisburg Townies, which not much you could have done about that.
Happens. The better team won that game. Simple as that. I should not have been in that situation. But hey, we had some surprises this year. We had the little 6-7 matchup in the bottom there. Shout out to Nabil, man. Hell of a season, bro.
Yeah, an absolute underdog. Like we were talking about in the last episode, the sixth and the seventh seed getting to the semifinals. Don't do it, bro. Is shocking to say the least, but nonetheless, really fun for the league. So, without further ado, let's break down semifinal matchups. We only got two. First up, the top dog, then one seed, Nick Perone, the Lewisburg Townies against Let's Go Dorf. Jack, this was an unfortunate showing for what could have been a successful underdog story. Some key injuries going into this week for Let's Go Dorf in week 16 and negative points by the defense. And Marcus Mariota as your starting quarterback is not the recipe for success, especially this deep in the playoffs.
No, we saw Dorf, he put together a heck of a season. But in the end, Patrick Mahomes went down with the ACL tear, and Dorf did not have a backup plan. Mariota, 3.7 against a stifling Philly defense is usually not what you want going into your second round playoff matchup. However, Michael Wilson, late emerger, propelled this team to what they ended up being. So, nothing to take away from Dorf here. It was a good run.
And listen, Dorf had the running back production all year. He had his guys ball out in the last game. Derrick Henry, Nash, and Jetty. They were dangerous. They were dangerous the entire season. But like you said, the team as a whole couldn't pull through. And it's not surprising because you look over the Lewisburg Townies, you got the Jonathan Taylor CMC combo. Another amazing game by George Pickens. I mean, what a stud this fantasy season. And timely Chamir Dyke. Um, I don't want to say breakout, but fantasy relevant production in the playoff run. So, yeah, Michael Wilson, Chamir Dyke, not the guys you're expecting to see in the semifinal flex spots, but hey man, Eddie, you're gonna take what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's true. We saw this powerhouse of McCaffrey and JT just push Perone all season long, and the lights were bright. They came to play. Getting nearly 50 points out of your two running backs is all you can ask for in this game. Everything else is just icing on the cake.
I absolutely agree. But an entertaining matchup, and we have Lewisburg Townies moving on. We will see who's up against. That's going to be our friend of Beal, Kyle Pitts, the Kyle Pitts team, which finally has Kyle Pitts. I don't think he had him for the entirety of the season, but made a crucial trade for branding purposes and was able to pull out a great victory in the semifinals over Cross Massage Parlor. Jack, break it down for me. There's a lot of big names I'm seeing on the screen here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Shout out Nabil putting marketing ahead of analytics, picking up Kyle Pitts on a what seemed like a down year, and he put in one of the best fantasy playoffs from a tight end that you'll ever see. Leading the way here, 19 points. And everyone, aside from Christian Watson, in double figures, just a balanced win. Nabil had his guys ready. He got 13 and a half points out of Isaiah Pacheco, who rotted in my IR spot the entire season. You can't draw it up any better than this. It's incredible.
You cannot. And I think a similar story to what we saw in the previous semifinals matchup where, if you're deep in the playoffs and you're starting Audric Estime as your RB2, things might not be going well for you. Things might not actually be going well for your team. We called Ollie's team a little bit of a fluke with, riddled with injuries by the start of the season. And that came back to plague him, it looks like, because I'm going to take a guess that Estime was not the guy you were looking to start this week. But regardless, great performance by Nabil. Got Omarion Hampton back for the playoff run. James Cook continued to put up impressive numbers. So, 150 points in the semifinals. That'll get you into the final match of the season.
It's true. Ali had a great year. He scored a lot of points. He had a lot of bad luck on injuries. A lot of guys went down early for him, James Conner being one of them. And he was able to put together an impressive run led by JSN. Um, but hey, credit to you. Shout out for tying with me in the last week of the regular season, getting me a shot at the playoffs. But um, yeah, great season. Just fell short here.
You didn't have to remind me of that. That could have been me in that eighth playoff. It actually was not ever going to, but man, that last playoff spot is gunning for it. But no, Ollie with sneaks in the seventh seed and still make top four. Very impressive for a guy who's had historically terrible results in this league. So we're proud of him regardless.
Yes.
But we have our last two, the final championship match against the Lewisburg Townies and Cal Pitts Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, your 2025 Chi-Fi Fantasy Football champion. Who else is it going to be? Congratulations, Nick Perrone, in what might be the closest finals match we've ever had in this league. A slim 3-point margin of victory, 132 over 129. Lewisburg Townies and the terrifying running back duo we've seen all season gets it done. Jack, first thoughts.
This game was back and forth the entire way. Oh my God, you can't write better television than this matchup. I mean, the projection was flipping left and right. We had studs, we had duds. You had it all. You had Christian Watson with the bounce back, but you had Kyle Pitts letting you down when it mattered most. This game came down to Monday Night Football, Rams, Falcons, two tight ends in the game.
Yes.
Nabil projected to win going in, and Colby Parkinson outperforms Pitts, gets Perone the win, robs Nabil of glory. This was so exciting to follow the whole way.
I mean, what a more fitting ending than putting your entire season on the back of Kyle Pitts for Nabil's team. I mean, there was no other way to end the season for him. And after getting like a 40 burger 2 weeks prior, Um, to end with 3.6 fantasy points. I mean, yeah, I don't know why Kirk Cousins like hates this guy, but it was disappointing. There was a lot of spicy text going back and forth in the group chat, but um, what's done is done. You have CMC putting up 28 points in a game that matters. And while it's not Prone's best performance by far, it was enough to get him the dub. I think it's his first championship in the league. So, with maybe more to come.
Yeah,
And so
Perone, welcome to the club. You can finally join Huddy and I now in the victory circle. You have consistently been one of the better teams in this league, multiple years as the one seed without any playoff success. So, it was your time. This was due. So congratulations, man.
absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna mail your green jacket promptly. You are in an elite club, to say the least. But Jack, that's gonna do it for the 2025 Cat fantasy football season. Prone is your champion, and
What a year.
what a year. We saw a lot of firsts. I think you and I didn't get the results we were expecting, but I'm putting the league on notice. 2026 is we're coming back. We're coming back strong.
Oh yeah, have to. That's what we do. We're resilient here at Hey Guys HQ.
We know how to bounce back because we have to bounce back a lot. Let's just put it that way. And as far as the players, for this season, MVP of the league, we're gonna give that award to uh the beautiful girl on your right hand side, Christian McCaffrey, white boy extraordinaire. Man, I mean, this guy's still doing it at 30. Like, it's inspiring, really, Jack.
Yeah, this guy has a real shot, I think, to go down as maybe the best fantasy football player in NFL history. The way, from a PPR standpoint, he's unreal. And we had 30-year-old McCaffrey not get hurt once. Like that alone, like if you'd have told someone that before the draft day that McCaffrey was going to be healthy the whole season, he'd have gone number one in every single draft. Like that's the kind of player he is. Uh, and for Perone to probably have number one and number two in the MVP voting with McCaffrey and Taylor, that playoff push from McCaffrey just edged out Taylor. I think he had a slow few weeks in the Phillip River offense, but yeah, shout out McCaffrey bringing home a ring for Perone. This guy was, yeah, he's a beauty to watch, and so is his gorgeous wife.
You're right about that, Jack. Perone snagged CMC at the end of the first round. That's where he was going in drafts. And you knew that if he's going to be healthy, he was the best value pick. The what's plagued CMC obviously has been injuries. His entire career, it has either been like a top running back production season or like a season-ending injury. Like there's been no in between. So you really hope that he keeps his longevity at least for a couple more years, just because A, he's fun to watch, and B, he is a incredible fantasy asset. But I think, yeah, 29 or 30, he's still getting it done, putting up the numbers he needs to on a great San Francisco offense. So yeah, I think he's going to be, even at his age, I think he'll still be going in the first round, maybe one of the top picks next year. I'll be curious to see where he lands.
He has to be, and I know we're gonna try and convince ourselves like, oh, surely he'll get hurt this year, but yeah, it'll probably end up being the right pick when you take him early.
I absolutely agree with that. And Jack, I think to make myself a better fantasy football player, Jack, some things I want to take away are lessons learned. To make myself a better fantasy football player, what are the players that we drafted and who ended up being the best at the end of the season? Not going to go into full detail, but we have our final 10 best running backs and 10 best wide receivers from the 2025 fantasy football season up on the screen here with total yardage and fantasy points per game on the right-hand side column. Jack, one theme I'm looking at here, generally down the line, you want to pick players on good offenses. If you have a good offense, they're most likely going to produce good fantasy football players. Certainly doesn't come for all the players on this list, but I think that's one takeaway of mine. looking at this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's true. And you can see here there's a lot of hidden talent in those first three rounds, really. Like the first round's big and all, but if you can hit picks in the second and the third, you're set. We see JSN here as the number two receiver. He was, I think, a third round pick. You
Yeah.
see George Pickens, he was a late round. Olave, a lot of these guys, Achan, I got in the second round, Chase Brown, people like that, um, all put in unbelievable fantasy seasons coming out of those second and third rounds. So um, sometimes it's always about hitting your first pick, but if you can be consistent in your first three, get some good value, um, yeah, that's big. Also, would like to point out Michael Wilson had 1,000 yards receiving. I did draft him. It was me
That's
all
crazy.
along, calling that ball knowledge, taking it.
Dude, I got you beat. He's on my dynasty team. I've been waiting
Yeah,
this for this for 3 years, dude. I knew this was gonna happen.
you waiting on a breakout.
I've been waiting on that Stanford product breakout. But yeah, that is crazy. You're right. I think the middle rounds of the drafts are what makes or breaks you. And the most surprising, Michael Wilson, so there's obviously a big drop off in fantasy production between like the top nine and then Wilson, but like he's still 10. And then Chris Olave, I thought Olave was gonna have the most disappointing. I was so wrong about this guy. I thought with like Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler throwing this guy the football, like it was not gonna be. You know what I mean?
Right? Like, oh my God, two of the worst quarterbacks you'll ever see, a horrible offense, a guy that's had 95 concussions. They ended up just throwing him the ball 25 times a game. Absolutely nuts. I wish the Vikings would adapt that mentality and just give Jefferson 20 targets a game, regardless of our shitty quarterbacks. But yeah, did not expect that one bit from Olave.
It was, yeah. Same with honestly Zay Flowers. I'm a little surprised by, but especially Olave. I think it has to do with like, Shuck actually being a good quarterback. He actually turned out, I think it looks like they're gonna stick with him. He actually had a pretty good rookie season, um but he was a round five, round six guy. And if you end up taking him like that is same with Pickens. He was like a round four, round five. So it is very funny to look at this list. Like especially the wide receivers. You tell me that these are the top 10 guys at the end of the season. I would not believe you.
Never, never in a million years, but I think this would be the top 10 receiver list. If you showed me this graph beforehand and blurred out the stats, I would have thought it's some random advanced metric or something. But yeah, it's crazy. Also, shout out to you, sir. Number 10 down there in the running backs. Sleeper Huddy from downtown. Bang.
I got lucky, man. I don't even remember if we drafted before or after the Tank Bigsby trade.
I think it was before.
I think it was. And so I
Yeah.
think it was Etienne and Bigsby going kind of neck and neck, but no, I got right on that prediction, so that felt nice. And then obviously took Jahmyr Gibbs over Saquon. Gibbs
Great.
wasn't the best running back, but I got right on that pick. So my running backs were not the problem. It was just everyone else on my team.
Yeah, no, you did your job there.
Yeah. Did you have HN?
I did have HN. Yeah, he was my second pick on the turn.
That's great value.
Yeah,
He's
and if you'd have
PPR
told me
demon.
he'd play 16 games out of 17 this year, yeah, I'd have taken. And I think he missed the last one. That was it. And the season was
Yeah,
over. So yeah, I'd have taken that any day.
absolutely. He's a PPR demon, especially the format we play in. I like
Absolutely.
him a lot. I'll be curious to see where these guys go next season, but
Yeah.
that is for another day. But that's a little recap for 2025. Jack, let's look now to the future. The only thing to look forward to really is this Sunday. It is Super Bowl time. Six time, six-time Super Bowl champion New England Patriots are back. The fastest rebuild you or your mama have ever seen in pro sports. We are back. Mike Vrabel is leading this team to victory in Santa Clara. Give me Patriots 23-20. Look, Vegas has this as the underdogs, and as they should. Seattle on paper, the better team. I 100% will admit that. But Jack, would I be a true fan if I was going to go against my homeboys? Absolutely not. I just can't have that happen. We're going to go with a tight game, 23-20. It's going to be a low scoring affair, but Pat's going to pull it out in the end, possibly a game winning field goal. You heard it here first, Jack.
I like the pick. I mean, it's your boys. They're back in the Super Bowl. They're back where we have seen them our whole lives. This is no unfamiliar territory. I mean, the cast of characters is different, but the organization's the same. This team wins. This franchise wins. You broke the record for fastest rebuild previously set by the Boston Celtics also, which is fucking bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, but congrats to you guys. I will say, growing up seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl every year, it was easy to hate them. They were very unlikable. Brady was a dickhead, even though he is the GOAT. You always rooted against him. This team feels different. This team is young. They're the kids. Drake May is a fucking guy. He's so likable. They aren't the best team here. They're not the best team in the NFL. But it's a likable group, and if it weren't for the history of New England, I feel like I'd probably be rooting hard for you guys too. Um, but I am going Seattle. 27-20. I think they're a 4.5 point favorite right now. According
Correct.
to Vegas, I think that moved up one from 3.5, with Drake May's lingering shoulder issue. I think they're gonna flip the script. I think this is a revenge from 2016 or 17, whenever that was. The
2014.
14. Oh my
Been a
God.
minute. Yeah,
What?
I know.
Wow. Yeah, that feels so long ago. Uh, but yeah, I think they'll get revenge for Russ, for Marshawn, for the Legion of Boom that should have won, but didn't. So
K9's going to pound it in for the game winning touchdown.
yes, and shout out my guy Sam Darnold. We had a fun time in Minnesota that one year together, that one magical year. You were like the girl that was studying abroad at your school, and you hit it off, and then she left back to her homeland, and it happens. But I'm pulling for you, man. Uh, honestly, it makes it even funnier. The Jets is a miserable franchise if Sam Darnold goes on to win a Super Bowl. So for that meme, I'm with it. But this is going to be a great game. I'm super excited, and I hope you are too.
Man, I cannot wait. Yeah, nervous. Like you said, there's so many good players on Seattle. It's going to be, we're going to have to play our best game and then some.
Oh yeah, let's have some fun. I was looking at DraftKings earlier. They have a bet in there for either team to attempt a pass inside the 1 yard line as like a meme.
That's so funny.
So funny.
Dude, throw it up to Stefan. He's open, bro. He's got elite hands. Talk about it, dude. Talk about the Vikings too.
I know there's a lot of ex-Vikings in this game. Diggsy, Garrett Bradbury, who's been immaculate at center for New England, who was the worst center in football when he played for us.
He's better than the worst. Immaculate's a strong word. He is better. He's better than the worst center in football. Will Campbell's the worst fucking guard in football. How do you know that?
Yeah, that's a true statement. He is pretty shit.
The protection's going to be a problem. It's the offense is going to be the issue. Like I have so much faith in our defense. They've been winning us every playoff game. If we if our receivers can get separation from elite cornerbacks, which is I don't know if that's gonna anyway. It's I'm nervous, Jack. I'm nervous for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, it's a good matchup. I mean, you got JSN lined up with Christian Gonzalez the whole game. That's going to be two words, must see TV. Um, but yeah, no, it's this is going to be great. I'm so stoked.
Absolutely. Well, good luck to either of us. One of us is gonna get the pick right. It's not gonna end the tie.
It's your team. I hope you guys win for your sake, Huddy. I know you'd root for my Vikings if they were ever in this game.
Unless they're against the Patriots, I would absolutely do that, Jack, without a doubt. But thank you all Season three, I think it's been a great season. JJ and I always have so much fun. This is something that we look forward to every week recording this. And for those who have been kind enough to tune in, even if you're watching a few minutes here and there, we appreciate it. We appreciate everyone in the Chi-Fi League putting up with my semantics as commissioner for the last 5 seasons. And I hope there's many more to come. I hope we do this for the rest of our lives. We're gonna be drafting Drake Mason's son in this league. So thank you all again. It's been incredible, and we'll see you next season.
It's been a great ride, 5 years in this fantasy league, and so many more to come. Shout out to you boys for keeping it afloat. We expanded last year. There's been changes. There's been ups and downs and twists and turns. But Huddy, thanks for steering the ship. Without you, who knows what would happen? And hey, a bunch of us kids from college, we don't all hang out too often, but this league keeps us together, and I hope it does for a long time.
Jack, I'm with you there. That's what feels good. So, ladies and gentlemen, go enjoy the off season. Get some warm weather in a couple of months. Drink some pina coladas and get ready for 2026 because you're gonna see our names a lot more. That's for damn sure. Um, but thank you all. Enjoy the Super Bowl and have a good night.
Cheers.